Alright, my controller's working now. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel.
Cupid Parasite.
We are doing a we are going down a new route today. We are going to be starting Allan Melville's route. The what parasite is he? The thieving parasite. We're going to be doing the common route with the extra dialogues and his date. There's going to be a little bit of extra dialogue because some of it doesn't even unlock until after Allan or Raul, and so now we can see some new dialogue here.
スタートするんだね。君と再会できたチャンスを今度こそはものにするから。
This will not be a detailed walkthrough of the common route in general. I'm only going to be doing choices for Allan Melville, and I will be doing the skip function for everything that is not already read. So if you want a detailed guide of a walkthrough, you can check out my common route, which is going to be linked in the playlist at the end of this video. The walkthrough does go through Ryuki's route, but you can follow a guide if you want to do the choices for Allan, or you can follow this guide. I follow the Atomi Kitten guide, which is very helpful. It gets you to every ending so you can see the entire game all the way through. But we're going to be starting with the same name, and we're going to be skipping the Parasite House introduction at the beginning. There's no choices until the Parasite 5 show up, so we're going to skip.
どうだ?
Alright, when he asks us if we're going to take on the Parasite 5, we want to say, I have to if I want to earn that promotion. During Gill's route, we're going to say, are you struggling with work? During Raul's interview, we're going to say, I read something on Wackypedia about Cupid. At the end of Ryuki's one, it says, we should fix my makeup. So, wonder which one this one goes to, because it doesn't have a choice for anything. Maybe it's the secret route. If it doesn't show up in the secret route, I'm reading it though. So we're gonna say, better fix my makeup. Alright, now we're in Allan's case. I'm gonna read this one all the way through because it's been a while. You must be Allan Melville. I'm very happy to meet you. So, Mr. Melville, I understand you work for a high-end pillow store.
ああ、そうだよ。寝ている間に肩こりするなら、9番街ラグジュアリーピローへ。ぴったりの枕をお届けするよ。
Thank you for the offer. Now then, what exactly are you looking for to get out of marriage, Mr. Melville?
ああ、俺のことはアランでいいよ、アワーハニー。可愛い君にはそう呼ばれたいからさ。
I'm afraid I must decline, Mr. Melville. It's how I speak to all my members.
それないな。
Alice smiled at me. I couldn't bring myself to return the gesture. I'm sorry, but as a bridal advisor, it's a matter of propriety. Also, I have to ask, why did you call me our honey?
名前を覚えるよりも効率的でしょ？俺たちの可愛い子ちゃんって意味だよ。
It's even worse than I could have imagined. And that still doesn't explain why he said our instead of my.
それに君以外のアドバイザーのみんなは喜んでくれたよ。アワースイート、アワーハニー、フーベアーズって呼ぶとさ。
That's actually going to get on my nerves if he says that all the time. Mr. Melville, have you hit on every advisor you've had it like this?
だから、アランだって言っただろ。
Fine then, Allan. I'll assume the answer to my question is yes.
まさか、たまにしかしないよ。それに俺、人のものじゃないと満足できないし。
Excuse me.
ってことで、君も誰かに恋してくれたら特に俺の好みになるんだけど、ボーイフレンドとかいないの？
As a matter of fact, I don't. But don't you think that that's kind of a strange requirement? I recall the phone call from before, something about stealing and borrowing. So when you say that you're only interested unless she belongs to someone else, what you mean is you enjoy stealing other people's girlfriends.
そういう体質なんだよ。ごめんね。でも略奪って言われるのは不服だな。
Oh yeah, he considers it borrowing.
シェアハウス、シェアオフィス、シェアサイクル。こんなにもシェアが当たり前になっている時代なのに、どうして恋人をシェアするのはダメなの？
Share?
そう、シェア。俺は奪いたいわけじゃなくて、共有したいんだよ。
Oh yeah, it wasn't sharing, it wasn't borrowing, it was sharing.
それを許してくれないから、結果的に略奪って言われちゃうんだ。
If what you're suggesting became commonplace, the whole world would fall into chaos.
俺は非常に合理的な考え方だと思うけれど、君だってルームシェアしてたんでしょ？
Well, I did live in a share house at one point, but wait, did I tell you that?
さあ、どうだったかな？
What's going on here?
とにかく、君、結構俺の好みだからさ。さっきいた他の4人の誰かと付き合ってみてよ。みんなビジュアル良かったし、どう？
So he knows that she had roommates in the past, or still does. What an incredibly gross suggestion. But we are going to freeze up after hearing that he's attracted to you. Huh. Attractive? Hearing that, I'm struck speechless, which just mortifies me even more. No, I am not taking that as a compliment. He just wants to share. This is not acceptable. I slam my hands down on the desk. I'm suddenly furious at his shameless audacity. It's perfectly obvious why you haven't gotten married yet, Allan.
俺はただ他人に恋している女の子が好きなだけだよ。
That's morally and ethically completely off the limits.
でも自分に恋をされても美味しくないんだよね。
So you simply can't see someone as a potential mate unless they already belong to someone else.
そう受け取ってもらっても構わないよ。
If you weren't already aware, you should realize that polygamy is against the law.
つまり結婚しなければ法に触れないわけだ。
Why are you even here in the first place?
そりゃ結婚に興味があるからさ。
If we're going to make any progress, we're going to have to adjust your fundamental perspective on things.
お褒めに預かり光栄です。
Seeing now why all the other advisors gave up on him. Changing this guy's basic outlook on life isn't going to be an easy task. He says he's interested in marriage, but all he really wants is other people's lovers. I have no idea how to find him a partner. What if I introduce him to someone looking to commit marriage-based fraud? No, we must address this fetish or his marriage will crumble. To be honest, it'd be a heck of a lot easier to just shoot him with one of my arrows. But that would be admitting defeat to my dad. Even so, I have no idea if I'll actually be able to change my members' values. So I have no choice but to do it. I need to get promoted and prove Dad wrong. When I returned to my senses, I realized that Allan was holding my hand. I immediately slapped it away. I don't think that's in the first one. Holding her hand. Okay, now we're gonna go skip to the love test challenge. Love test? Yeah.
ありが
Well, everything is no except for number 1. Okay.
はい、そのイエス
If you catch him looking at another woman, do you instantly get jealous? Yes. Everything else is no. So, I mean, I've already read these questions like 4 times already, so we're just gonna skip through them. I was interested in what the yes questions were.
Eh, 大丈夫よ。マニア、熱狂的な愛ね。噴火したマグマのように相手も自分も燃やし尽くしてしまう。嫉妬心が強いのも特徴の一つね。
Oh no, we're gonna have lots of jealousy in this route. Jealousy, I wonder what it's like to fall in love with someone like that.
そうね。確かにあなたに劇場的な一面があるなんて想像がつかないわね。普段は冷静だけど恋愛になると周りが見えなくなるのかも。
So we're going to stop checking.
それは良かったわ。
Let's
ま
skip
あ
to the
作
next
ってる
one.
私が言うのもなんだけど。
今日は助かった。急に彼に連れてこられたんだろう。
It's all part of the job, right? And we are worried about Alan and his thieving ways and licking a feather. Maybe Alan.
ああ、略奪パラサイトの。他人の女にしか興味ないんだっけ。
Unfortunately, yes. So I want to show him how great a one-on-one relationship can be, but I'm not sure how he'll handle that. The more the merrier is his motto. Ethics don't factor into his mindset at all. I'm not saying that it's normal won't be enough. In fact, even I'm not convinced.
意外とあなた、パラサイト5のこと。
We're skipping to the date now because everything else we've already read. Alright, we're at Alan's dates now. Allan Melville takes her to a pillow store. Saturday, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. That's when the date starts. Good evening. We had decided to meet up at Alan's store to start our date. He was still dealing with a customer when I arrived.
ああ、いらっしゃい。ごめんね。店まで来てもらっちゃって。あと少しで閉めるから。
I wonder if he gets her to fall asleep. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll just wait here until you're ready. I made my way to the corner of the store in order to stay out of everyone's way. For a pillow store, this place is actually pretty big. I don't even see any pillows. Like, I see some pillows maybe stacked up on that chair, but everything else looks like bases and with a bunch of different kinds of stuff in it. Pillow Luxuria was a swanky pillow store on 9th Avenue. I only knew about it thanks to Alan. I'd never actually seen it for myself before. 9th Avenue is mainly a high-class residential area, so I don't usually have a reason to visit. As I was looking around the shop, I heard a woman yawn from the back.
ごめんなさい。枕を試していたら寝ちゃったみたい。
Isn't that what he tries to do, though?
当店の枕は快眠できると好評いただいてますから。
本当にそうね。私もすっごくいい夢見た気がするわ。おかげですっきりしちゃった。この枕いただくわ。
ありがとうございます。今お包みいたしますね。
Wow, it looks like he takes his job pretty seriously. From the corner of the store, I took a peek at Alan as he went about his task. Normally he just talked about stealing people's girlfriends, so it was hard to imagine him with a proper job like this. But I guess if you're going to have a store on 9th Avenue, you have to take it seriously.
へえ、それは素敵だ。旦那様もあなたみたいなマダムに愛されて幸せですね。羨ましいぐらいです。
Of course he is.
あら、 お口がお上手なんだから。
本心からですよ。ぜひまた当店にいらしてください。マダムに会える日をまた楽しみにしています。ラグジュアリーピローのアラン・メルビルがあなたの快眠を守りますから。枕のメンテナンスでもそれ以外でも。
Huh? There was something ominous in those words, but Allan just kissed his elegant customer's hand and gave her a sly wink.
素敵な殿方ね。わかった。また来るわ。
どうぞごひいきに。またのご来店お待ちしております。
Allan escorted his last customer of the day out of the store. He then flipped the sign over to show that the store was closed.
ごめん、お待たせ。
No, I didn't feel like I was waiting at all, but Allan, are you always like that with your customers?
あのような態度？
Like, with how intimate you are with them. Most store clerks don't hold their customers' hands, and they definitely don't kiss them.
焼いてくれたんだ。
No, I just want to make sure you're not overstepping your boundaries. I grabbed his arm and glared at him angrily. He just ran his hand through his hair and gave me a wry smile.
大丈夫。ちょっと枕で寝てもらうぐらいで、法に触れるようなことはしないよ。
I hope you're right about that.
心配するならうちの店に住み込みしてもらってもいいよ。君が来るなら大歓迎。
Feel free to move at any time. No thanks. I see absolutely no upside to that for me.
相変わらず君って可愛いね。こんな真面目で純情な子、初めてだよ。
I kind of want to see some of the other things with him in it. I just don't remember where they're at. Because there was a scene where he got her to lay down on a pillow and talk to her. And then there was another scene on the beach when he was talking about actually being an incubus. Allan snickered, then wrapped his hands around my waist and drew me closer to him.
それより君もそこに寝てみて。君にぴったりの枕を見繕ってあげるよ。
Huh? Didn't we do that the other day? Oh, I guess it already passed.
あれはただ君に合いそうだと思って適当に選んだ枕だよ。本当はこの店にあるいくつもの枕からピタリと合うものを選ぶんだ。枕の中身も選べるからね。羽毛やパイプ、ウレタンとかがおすすめかな。この間のやつは少し高さが合っていなかったからさ。君にうちの店に来てもらったタイミングでちゃんとしたのに変えようって思っていたんだ。
Right, well, thanks, I guess. He really is serious when it comes to pillows. I gave a small nod of appreciation and he led me to a nearby bed.
さ、靴を脱いでここに寝そべって。前の枕よりももっといい夢を見させてあげるよ。
Just the way he said that made it seem way more suggestive than the words themselves. I know, the way he says it makes it sound, not that he's just trying to sell you a pillow. It's just a pillow, right? Why does he have to talk like that? That's what I was thinking as I climbed onto the bed. Wow, this pillow actually feels pretty amazing too.
気に入った？
It feels like my head is melting right into it. I never realized just how nice a pillow could feel. I was impressed before, but this high-end store really is amazing. Something like this could give me a good night's sleep for sure. This is definitely even better than my last pillow experience at home. As I was enjoying the incredible pillow, I felt a shadow pass over me. I opened my eyes and saw Allan hovering over me with a serious look on his face. Is he just coming to adjust the pillow like he did before? Yeah, so in Parasite House, he hovered over her. He gave her a pillow and hovered over her to like check the angle of her chin to the ceiling and make sure it's supporting her neck and whatever. But he was really close and touchy-feely with her during it. She's like, you don't have to, like, touch me. Still, if this is how he treats all his customers, I couldn't help but think that that was a bad sign. He really could get arrested for behavior like this. As I was thinking about that, Allan pressed a lock of my hair to his lips.
ダメだよリネット。そんな無警戒な姿で寝たら男は狼なんだからさ。わかってる？
Supposed to be thinking about pillows, not about stuff like that. Just doing what you told her to do. Of course I realize that, but this is a pillow store and you're a pillow salesman, right?
そうだけど俺は男で君は女なんだ。力では絶対に勝てない。妙な人に襲われる前にさ、その無警戒さを直したらどう？
He looked at me as if he were awaiting the right response. There's no save files for this, so the correct answer is, either way, it's got nothing to do with you. So we're gonna think, I really don't think that I'm that careless. Feeling annoyed and embarrassed, I just turned my head and looked away. I really don't think I'm that careless. When push comes to shove, I'm confident that I can take care of myself. After all, I am a god.
自分ではそんな認識なんだ。
Did you tell him that you were a god? For a moment I thought that I could see some kind of anger behind Allan's eyes, but then... Huh? His hand brushed against my thigh. He grazed it so lightly I jerked reflexively, which led me to smashing my head straight into his. Okay, let's see if the other one leads to that. Now she's gonna look away embarrassed, which is exactly the reaction that he wants. To be honest, I've never actually thought of myself as a woman. I've just seen myself as a god. But when he put it that way, I felt almost embarrassed. I turned away from him, unable to look him in the eyes, but then... Huh? Oh, okay. It's the same, except he's not angry this time. Okay. So let's go choose the right one. Didn't even respond during that one. Either way, it's got nothing to do with you. I'm still a god after all. When push comes to shove, I'm sure I can take care of myself. I just glared at him and let out a little laugh that seemed almost sad. Cheated?
俺はさ、君が心配なんだ。あんまりに普通の女の子と違うから。
Before I say anything more, so there is going to be spoilers in this route. So if you don't want spoilers, or if you haven't got to this part in the game, then I will start out with the common route that that I played through in the beginning that doesn't have any spoilers. But yeah, of course he knows that she's different from any other girl. He already knows that she's Cupid. He's mentioned that in Gill's route before. What? Different? Different how? Oh no, did I let part of my Cupid nature slip somehow? I thought I'd become human enough, but I still blurted out my question. In response, Allan kissed the base of my neck.
俺を前にして何も思ってなさそうなところかな。いや、男たちとシェアハウスしているのに何も気にしていないところかな。
He gave me another audible kiss on my neck. I heard a laugh deep down within his throat.
ねえ、君は恋をしたことがないの？俺が教えてあげなきゃダメ。
I can't believe he kissed her neck twice. Huh? Or well.
君にはただの女の子として恋を楽しんでほしいんだ。だから俺は。
His hand brushed against my thigh. He grazed it so lightly I jerked reflexively, which led me to smashing my head straight into his. Serves you right. Ow. Unlike the last time I smacked him, this one hurt me too. I glared at him while rubbing my head. I hope you don't expect me to apologize for that, Allan. That was totally your fault. But what's the point of even doing things like that? You're only interested in other people's women, right?
まあだから君に恋のときめきを教えてあげようと思ったんだよ。今日は模擬デートでしょ。
How am I supposed to learn how to fall in love when I know you do this act with everyone? No woman is going to just suddenly fall in love after you touch their thigh without warning.
あれそうなの
It's not love, it's lust. Allan looked at me with genuine surprise. He honestly thought that was a winning strategy. His sense of decency is completely screwed up. As his advisor, I felt like it was my duty to try to adjust his sense of morals. I asked him to sit on the bed with me. Listen, Allan, when you prioritize lust over love, nothing good can come of it. Only a truly sincere love can last.
誠実な恋ね。俺が今更できる気がしないんだけど。
But that's the only way you can have a truly happy marriage.
そうじゃないカップルもこの世の中にはたくさんいるけど。
But even if you manage to find a girlfriend, I'm sure you'd just start cheating on her with someone new.
まあ、俺が恋されても美味しくないからね。
If you don't want to get married, fine, but as long as you're a part of our company, I will try to get rid of this bad habit of yours. Otherwise, we'd have non-stop complaints from other members, and if he did get married, it'd just end up in divorce and a lawsuit. I know the other advisors are just focused on marriage, and I don't think too much about the details. But because of that, even within our company, we have cases of members separating not long after marriage. I'm not okay with that. After all, I'm the god of love. Relationships and romance are my responsibility. Did you forget that this is a practice date for you, not me? If you don't make some effort to fix the things that make you the thieving parasite, we'll ban you. Do you hear me?
ああ、わかったわかった。ごめん。俺が悪かったよ。だから機嫌直して。
Cheer up. Do you really understand what I'm saying?
もちろんさ。ほら、それよりも枕を決めなきゃ。さっきのはちょっと高かったから、別のを試してほしいんだ。
He kissed her again. Allan kissed me again, this time lightly on the cheek. He really doesn't understand anything. He wandered off to find me another pillow. While he was searching, I wrote down some Allan-specific ideas for our next workshop. Allan-specific. In the end, it took over an hour to put together my own personalized pillow.
これでようやく君にぴったりの素材と高さの枕ができたね。プレゼントするから早速今晩から使ってみて。
Allan winked at me and started wrapping it up for me. I hadn't realized until this moment, but... Wait, a gift?
そうだけど、気に入らない？
No, that's not it. It's so soft and comfy, I love it, but aren't your pillows really expensive?
まあそうだけど、君がゆっくり眠れる方が大事だよ。
But you don't need to give me anything, especially not something so expensive. I took out my wallet and started to run to the register, but he put out his hand to stop me.
いいんだよ。俺が送りたいんだ。
Somehow Allan was looking at me in a way that he never had before. He was looking at me, but in a way he wasn't. He was almost looking through me, like he was searching for someone else. He brushed his hand against my cheek, but this time it didn't feel gross at all. It was so gentle and sweet that I couldn't help but take his hand.
ねえ、リネット。
Yes? The atmosphere was tense. It wasn't excitement exactly, but my heart was beating faster. I just laid there waiting to hear what he had to say. He just smiled at me and then...
俺たち、前に会ったことあるよね。
I was wondering if that was going to be the case in this route. Huh? That phrase sounded oddly familiar. I was pretty sure it was a line from one of the movies Aunt Minerva had shown me. So, I wonder how... Going back into what I learned in Raul's route, I wonder how the Cupid title gets passed on. I wonder if it gets passed on to mortals, if it gets passed on to gods, demigods. Because if she was someone before she was Cupid, she could have been someone associated with Allan, which would be very interesting. Also, I don't remember when he said this, but whenever she was asking why he does certain things, he said that there was a girl that was taken away from him a long time ago, someone he considered family. Which could be her too, I don't know. And that may have something to do with his thieving nature. I thought that was later on in the common route, but maybe I can find it. Is this what Allan is like when he's actually hitting on a girl? I nearly fallen for his serious demeanor, but in the end, I was a fool for thinking he changed so quickly. Seriously, you're trying to use a pickup line from some old movie on me? Nobody would fall for that in this day and age. Things were suddenly awkward, and I tried to laugh it off. But for some reason, Al just revealed a sad smile.
そっか。そうだよね。
Aw, I kind of wish he hadn't said that if it made him sad. Huh. For some reason, his mournful gaze made my heart ache. Could it be we really had met before? But I seriously doubt I would forget meeting someone who clearly leaves such a strong impression. Besides, I've only been in the human realm for 6 years. I felt like I'd remember pretty much anyone I'd meet or met. I must have looked truly confused because he suddenly reached out to me.
なんて、ここでのんびりしていたらデートしそびれちゃうな。そろそろ行こっか。
Actual date? I almost expected it to end.
枕は荷物になるし、ここ置いていこう。帰りにまたうちの店寄ってもらってもいい？
Sure, I guess that's okay. I still wasn't totally certain on what had just happened, so I just nodded in agreement. Did Allan not notice the look on my face, or was he just pretending? I thought about that as he gathered his things to leave. I don't think we're actually going to see the real date though, right? From there, we just walked around in the night air and had a fairly casual conversation. Wait, so you don't actually own that store?
と言っても、いつも旅行に行ってて全然店にはいないけどね。
Well, I totally thought that was your place. Yeah, he like lives upstairs, right?
まあ、実質的には似たようなもんかな。他に従業員もいないし、オーナーは帰ってこないし。
Things were feeling much more relaxed with Allan than I was expecting. I figured he'd be aggressive the entire time, but I guess he's capable of carrying on a normal conversation after all. If he could just be this way all the time, I'm sure he could find a nice girlfriend with no problem.
あ、見て。そこ、シェアサイクルが置いてある。
Oh, you're right. These things are so convenient, you don't have to maintain them or anything.
そうそう。だから俺シェア好きなんだよ。
Oh my goodness. Talk about maintaining women now. Huh. Shared. Whenever Allan uses that word, it sounds so ominous.
俺もよくシェアサイクル使うんだけど、気に入ったバイクはこのアプリで検索できるんだよ。知ってた？
Wow, really? I had no idea. That sounds really useful.
このアプリ、女の子にも使えたらいいのにね。そしたら今、君が誰のものか一発で分かっちゃう。興奮するよ。
Oh my goodness. Your imagination is so weird. I made no effort to hide how creeped out I was, but he just smiled right back at me.
でも、シェアサイクルはいいんでしょ？お気に入りのバイクがどこにあるか分かると便利だって言ってたじゃない。
It's different when you're talking about a bike.
それが人間の女の子相手になった途端 NG なのがやっぱり分からないんだよな。
Seriously, how does someone end up like this? What does someone have to go through to develop such strange fetish? If it's from some kind of serious trauma, that's not something I can fix. That calls for a trained psychiatrist. I'm not really sure how involved I should get. I'm just a bridal advisor. My job is to take whatever information I can get and introduce compatible partners. And we've got the Cupid system to help with that too, so things usually go pretty well. Actually, I did say that I thought humans could handle things for themselves, but now here we are relying on machines. In a way, doing everything I can for the Parasite 5 is a true test for my godly skills.
な、見て。バブルティー売ってる。飲まない？
I looked up when Alan called out to me. I noticed a small food truck selling bubble tea. Oh, that does look good, but isn't it kind of filling? We want to leave room for dinner, right?
夕飯？あれ？そんな時間なんだっけ？
I know, didn't you show up at like 7 and he took you over an hour to get you a pillow, so it's like what, 9-ish? 8, okay. Yeah, it's already 8 o'clock. Do you not usually eat dinner or something?
お腹も減らないしね。バブルティーは好きだからたまに飲むけど。
Also, I don't eat dinner that late. We eat dinner like at 6. I see. Well, we're supposed to be on a date, so let's get a proper dinner.
OK? じゃあバブルティー買ってくるよ。
Alan tried heading to the food truck, so I quickly grabbed him by the shirt. Where are you going? You're still gonna buy bubble tea after what I just said?
え？あれ？変だった？
We're supposed to be practicing our real date, right?
だから夕飯にバブルティーを。
For dinner. No, that's unacceptable. I mean, it's probably acceptable for some people, but it's definitely not normal.
え？でも夕飯食べない女の子って結構いない？
He's utterly confused. Well, I'm sure there are some. If you're both on the same wavelengths for food preferences and habits, it's fine. If you ask a girl to go to dinner with you and show up with a couple of bubble teas, we're going to get complaints for sure.
そっか。人間はお腹が減る生き物なんだっけ？
Which is say he's not human. You're an incubus. Why do you talk like you're not human? That's not something you could just go around saying, okay? She doesn't even care.
ごめん。でも見て。あそこのワゴンカーでは他にもホットドッグとか売ってるよ。それじゃあダメ？
Well, it's pretty nice out tonight, so... But other girls might have a different outlook, so you need to pay attention to their reactions when you suggest things.
OK? ひとまず買ってくるよ。それで一緒に公園で食べよう。
This sounds cute. We ended up getting bubble tea to go with our hot dogs and headed to Lost York Park. Alright, let's eat. We sat on a bench together and got to work on our hot dogs. I have to admit, this is pretty good.
このバブルティーもすごく美味しい。黒タピオカがもちもちしてて最高。最近全然飲めてなかったから嬉しいよ。
You really love bubble tea that much. I wouldn't have expected that.
そう？
Well, just because you seem so mature, I wouldn't peg you as someone that eats a lot of sweet stuff.
甘いもの？これは酸っぱいだろう？まあそもそもあんまり食べないけどね。
Bubble tea is sour?
このバブルティーだってサイクリング中たまたま見かけて飲んでみたらハマったってだけだし。一時期すごい気に入って毎日飲んでたんだけど、意外とこれ太るから。最近は月に1回ぐらいにしてるんだ。
With a big smile on his face, Alan took another drink of bubble tea. There were some odd word choices in that conversation, but overall, this does have the feel of an actual date. Eating in a normal restaurant is definitely nice, but there's something refreshing about having dinner on the park bench. If he could get rid of his weird fetish, I'm sure he could get married right away. I took a bite of my hot dog and glanced over at him. He had some breadcrumbs stuck to his lips and stuck out his tongue to wipe them away. His lips were glistening with saliva, which I suddenly realized was quite sexy. I quickly turned away. I still can't figure out why Alan actually decided to join Cupid Corp. I can't figure out why you think wet lips is sexy. He's clearly satisfied with his one-night stands and has no desire to get married. Does he maybe have some other reason for joining? But if so, what could it be? I risked another peek at him. He was looking down at his hot dog, which I found to be equally sexy. Why? He's just looking at food. I seriously couldn't figure this guy out. All I could do for now was finish my hot dog. You probably just think he's sexy in general. Like, because I mean, I don't know. I've looked at a hot dog before. My husband's looked at a hot dog before. I didn't think anything of it. Eventually, we continued our date and enjoyed the evening in the park. Around 10 p.m., we returned to Allan's store.
はい。じゃあ改めまして、枕をどうぞ。
Oh, thank you. The pillow had been lovingly wrapped and placed in an elegant paper bag. Allan handed me my gift. So that's it for our date. Shall we return to Parasite House?
なあ、それなんだけど。実はさ、俺ここの2階に住んでるんだ。どう？君も寄っていかない？
He said that very suggestively. Did he warn you about letting your guard down when there's men around? I'm sorry?
パラサイトハウスだとゆっくりできないでしょ？だからさ、たまには二人きりになろうよ。
Nope, he definitely has ulterior motives. What? He took my arm and whispered those words to me seductively. I immediately smacked his hand away. This is exactly why you're not married yet. Besides, I'm not your type, remember?
別に必ずしも好みのことだけ寝るわけじゃないよ。
Well, regardless, I suggest that you stick to your type and try to find love. I'm going home. Bye. That's funny. Take my pillow and stormed out of the door. He's such a remorseless player. He seriously tried to get me into bed on our first date. Our first practice date. No matter how... Well, I mean... Raul got you into his bed the first time he asked. But whatever. I guess he asked better. No matter how many times I tell him, he refuses to understand. I carried my irritation all the way to the subway station. I was wondering if we're going to get... I was hoping we would get a Allan point of view.
ダメだな、俺は。あの子に素敵な恋をしてもらいたいのに、うまくできやしない。
I wonder if he's working with Clarice and Minerva to get her in love. Or if he is doing it for his own objective.
この体に染みついた癖が抜けない。こんな自分が嫌になるよ。
He doesn't like what he does. That makes me sad for him. I can't wait to read his route. I want to get in it. I'm just going to keep skipping through choices. I think that beach scene is like at the end of the common route, though. I'm not going to let Gill take the brunt of the man competition.
So?
Is he mad about something? I'm gonna report her to the police.
そうか、確かにそうだな。
I'm gonna skip and see if I can find any extra dialogue. Alright. This is a choice that comes up after Raul or after Allan's route, and we finished Raul's. So I went up a little bit to put some context into it. So we have read it before. A Cupid court member got angry. I heard the door slam shut. I saw a member storm out of the meeting room.
最低だわこの会社。もう何年も所属してるのに結婚できないし、毎年更新料ばっかり取られて、こんなの詐欺よ。だいたい私は LCI 製の車を持ってる男じゃないと嫌って言ったじ ない。それなのに他の男ばっか紹介してきてほんと最悪。
うわ、出たよ。自分のこと棚に上げてステータスに固執する女。自分の
Iris, hush. Iris is an advisor, so she just says the first thing that comes to mind about customers. Then again, in my experience, those types of customers tend to end their memberships eventually. No matter what we do, they get an attitude and quit. Then they write a 1-star review and turn into online haters. But if they get to that level of anger, there's nothing we can do for them.
最近ああいう会員多いわよね。この間も受付で大乱闘になったの見たわ。
Not really.
ええ。パラサイトハウス見て会員になったのに全然ああいうイケメンがいないですって。
I thought about the comments directed at the Parasite 5 and started to get worried all over again. I hope this doesn't hurt Cupid Corp's image and reputation further. Because of Parasite House, Cupid Corp has a booming membership. Still, it doesn't hurt to be too careful. Even difficult customers need our support. After all, if the membership of Cupid Corp drops, I wouldn't be able to matchmake for them. At that moment, my Cupid's bow pendant started shining. Delegate was telling me to use it. She's going to quit no matter what, so it's not cheating, right? She's a non-member, and I'm not her advisor, so... A suggestion formed in the back of my mind as if there was a devil on my shoulder. Well, I am the real deal Cupid. I've been matchmaking like this for ages. But we're not going to use the Cupid's bow. I think in the secret we use the Cupid's bow. Because I know who the secret character is, so that would make sense for me. That's what I think anyway. We're not going to use Cupid's bow. Wait, no, that would go against my goals. After all, I left home because I told Dad that I would help people fall in love without using my arrow. If I use it now, I'll just prove myself wrong. I shook my head in frustration and let go of my arrow. The customer is long gone since we couldn't help her. She could ruin our relationship even more. I need to work hard and work smart, matchmake twice as hard and twice as many people. That's even more reason to get the Parasite 5 married. Paris, I need to get back to work.
ずいぶんなやる気ね。
This is my calling, my duty, really. But then it's fine, because then they just quit later. So. Angel Demon face off. So yeah, that's where Allan's route... That's where the common root of Allan's ends. Well, I wish I could go back and look at some of Allan's stuff, but without really doing skip read on everything, I'm not going to be able to. But some of the stuff I remember is that, and besides him hitting on her and a couple of things, he was asked long and hard about, you know, why he's doing this, and he did mention someone that was taken away from him a long time ago, and I think that's why he is the thieving parasite, because someone was taken from him, and so he's taking from others now. But I don't necessarily think that he is taking them romantically, because he is an incubus, which he did mention on the beach as well. So he is not human, and in like Gill's route, he wants to find a way back to Celestia. So he is someone who can't get there on his own. So fallen angel, incubus, lives in the underworld, probably associated with Hades. So that's what we know about Allan going into Allan's route. But as always, if you like, drop a thumbs up down below and or subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.